inspired by a lot of the streamers. Just something popped up. Hold on. I've been really inspired by a lot of the streamers that just go live. I don't even have a reason to go live. I'm walking. I mean, maybe that's the reason is because I'm walking. Maybe that'll motivate you to walk too. But yeah, I think going live for me has always been, oh, why would I do this? Because I don't have no followers. Like right now, there's nobody in here with me. Nobody's watching. I don't have a, comment section going crazy. But, and I used to do my podcast, Dearly Deep Hearted, which was, what did I change it to? Dearly Deep slash Watch the Throne or something like that or whatever, or Hold the Throne. And I was recently on my Google Voice because I've been pretty alone. So I've been like checking for old numbers. And so I saw a voicemail in there, and I used to put the phone number out so that, people could, send questions and stuff like that or get clarification on issues for the podcast. And I never really got any messages. But it turns out I did have one sitting in there. And also, once I started, looking at it and I actually text the person like, hey, my bad, I never got back at you. But then I was just like, oh, shoot, I do remember this message. But also, I realized that was now 6 years ago. I think it was in 2020. So anyway, started texting the person like, hey, my bad for never getting back. Don't know why I didn't ever get this message. Turns out it was actually somebody who I did respond to, and she was in California at the time. And so then the message was about cheating. So, and I was like, hopefully things are cool now, whatever. And then somehow, we kept talking or whatever. She was like, I was like, did you ever go through with cheating? And she goes, yes, I slept with you. I was like, what? I was like, who is this? Like, I really didn't remember who this person was. So I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, when you cheated, you actually slept with me? And then finally she sent the picture. And even the picture, I was just like, I mean, you weren't like super bad or nothing like that, but maybe it was just a bad picture. But I was like, face, you know, buddy in 6 years, maybe it was a one night stand. Just like, oh, the face slowly started becoming more, you know, like I started recognizing her. The face started becoming more recognizable. And I was like, oh, shoot, I have just opened up another can of worms. I don't want to talk to this person. I still didn't fully remember, who she even was or her situation. So, I got nosy and I'm like, so what exactly happened? Tell me more. And she's like, no, it's okay because I don't think you were that into me anyway. So, I lie. I'm like, shoot, yes, I was. Like, I would definitely totally, do that again. If where are you? Kind of trying to play the game just to give me more information. Anyway, long story short, she starts telling me that her husband had cheated a lot. And so that's why she cheated with me. And I was just like, oh, do you still cheat? And then she's like, no, not at all. Not anymore. That's not my thing anymore. I would never do that to him. I realized just because he was doing wrong doesn't mean that I should do wrong. And yeah, so I'm like, all right. So, she's not having fun at all, or she's not being fun at all. So I'm just like, I don't really want to talk to this person anymore. Um, but yeah, it was kind of, you know, funny to get, you know, back in touch with somebody who I had definitely not remembered at all. And, that's why another inspiration to start, trying to go live again and actually see some people, actually in here, which is really cool. People popped up. Um, Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Thanks for the like. If you're still in here, do a like. I think that's how this works. I think that's how it works. Do a donation. Get me back on here with more, random stories. So like I was saying in the beginning, if you just came in, I don't know if you started it from the beginning or not, but just started walking. Well, not just started walking. I've been walking now since about April, just to lose weight. I was at 267 at highest. That went down like pretty quick to 260. And then I started the weight challenge with my ex. And I'm down to about probably after if I weigh in today, it'll be about 230. Hopefully it's 230. That was my goal. So I'm ahead of schedule. My birthday is August 21st. That's when, we're supposed to give the results. But story about that, she's not really with it anymore. She kind of bowed out, but not because she couldn't do it, but because she apparently said she was tired of me. Hmm. This was an on and off relationship for about, it would have been, well, 16 years, but would have been 17 coming up. But yeah, so like I said, I started walking, losing a lot of weight, trying to get down to 227 because I've been lifting too. I don't want to be too thin and skinny. But again, I've just had some motivation to start going live. Like this one guy, I think his name is Eric Jackson. Look him up. He talks a lot of truth about the music industry. He started covering the whole Kendrick and Drake beef. And he's good. He doesn't just talk about the rumors and the headlines. You know, he Jackson, and if I start getting topics to talk about, would definitely be 100% helpful. So I'm not just making up stuff. Again, throw some, you know, got this late, come back in here and I'll talk about it. All right, I'm about 2 hours and 9 minutes in on my walk. Been live for 9 minutes because I was actually watching some interviews. That's what I do mostly. Watch um, cultural interviews, hip hop, R&B, you know, multimedia stuff. Shout out to the last person in here too. If I didn't like it, just to because it won't hurt you. But yeah, I'm almost back home, and hope you enjoyed the little story that I tell. That was actually something, and maybe it'll make me restart the podcast too. I did say I wanted to restart the podcast like every year since I've quit, but it's hard because you don't really, it's tough to get guests. I'm tired of just talking to myself. The guests that I did have would either cancel or, I just couldn't get any. But again, throw out some topics. Let's talk. And yeah, I'll try to make this a more regular thing. And yeah, if you just came in, click the like, send a donation. I might make a channel. I mean, a subscribe channel if we get big enough. Hey, let's do it. All right. Peace.